So I'm going to stall for 10, 20, 30 seconds here while we let folks stream back in. And then I'm going to give some more of my tips for Puerto Rico. Fun fact, Julian, I don't know if you knew this. My dad actually lived in Puerto Rico when he was a kid.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. How long did you live there for?
He was there for a number of years, and so he's fluent in Spanish, but only with the vocabulary of like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or something.
Got it. Oh, there you go.
Random.
That's better than most, right? So
yeah. But so anyway, I'm gonna finish giving my tips here for Puerto Rico for Sarah. The last thing that I think that's really fun, especially good for families, is going and finding some of the bioluminescent bays. So these are I can't remember if it's one specific beach or if there are a number of them around the island where there are essentially these bioluminescent, I think they're like plankton or photoplankton or something that at night just light up. It's like almost like a neon light, just thousands, millions of neon lights around in the water that just looks totally surreal, totally like just immersive. Such a cool experience, especially for kids who maybe haven't been able to see something like this before. I bet it'll really kind of spark their interest in I don't know, in oceanology.
Yeah, there you go. So unfortunately, I lost access to all the questions, but I did have some that I remembered, and I'm in the Facebook chat now. Denise said, keep an eye out for my name in the SCF inbox because she's determined to work for SCF. So I love that. And also I am going to, hopefully this posts in the chat. I posted our careers page because, oh, it did. There we go. Because we are hiring. So definitely check that out. Yeah.
2021, it's going to be a huge year for travel. I never thought Scott Flights would be something where we would not only have a team of close to 40 people now, but also be hiring, dozens of positions coming up this year. Please, please, please apply. If there are any positions that either seem like you'd be interested in, or somebody who would fit the bill, who might be interested, please, please, please come work for us. We'd be super, super excited and really eager to see more applications.
Oh, there she is, Denise. Perfect. And another question that we actually got from YouTube before we accidentally cut out, again from Brooklyn Joe. Brooklyn Joe is asking some great questions today. He asked, with the NFL, I forgot what date he was saying, but basically with the NFL schedule, with the NFL schedule being released soon, are we going to start sending deals to games to NFL cities?
We need the Cincinnati Bengals package where you get flights anytime they're flying, and then you can safely ignore them because they're not worth watching. No. I like that. That's kind of a fun idea. I mean, I can't promise that it's going to be something we'll be able to implement. The thing, even though we're growing, we're still a pretty small team. We're still pretty lean, and we're a bootstrap company. We rely on subscription memberships to fund ourselves, and so we have to be kind of very choosy and intentional about what we choose to take on, because anything we do, it means we can't do sort of other things. But I love hearing this feedback from members. What would you find valuable? What would be cool to build? Because that's really, at the end of the day, what informs what we decide to go forward with and what to put on the back burner. We just want to make you all happy. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the other thing I really liked about that question is I know our flight experts are always trying to not only find ways to send the best and send as many deals out to our members, but also trying to either package it in a very kind of widespread way where more people are able to get the deals, or just find more interesting ways to present the deals. And whether it be NFL schedule opening up, whether it be, road trip ideas that we've been doing, or national park deals that we've been doing. It's always interesting to see what works well with our members. So Glenn asks, how do I apply? Just go on our website. I just posted it. It's scottsheetflights.com/careers. And then look through any of the positions that may interest you, and you can put your application through there. Aaron asks, or says, welcome back. We snagged the Dublin deal for next March. That's awesome. Should we spend the entire 2 weeks in Ireland or Ryanair our way over to the UK?
Oh gosh, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. I loved Ireland. Like I've you know, Dublin is cool. Dublin's great. It's definitely worth spending a few days in Dublin. Outside of Dublin and being able to rent a car and drive around Ireland is so fascinating. I mean, such a
That sounds
cool, lush
amazing.
green country, just beautiful. I really enjoyed getting over to the western coast, going to places like Sligo, Donegal, hiking up this tabletop mountain called Ben Bulbin outside of Sligo, going up
Interesting.
to Northern Ireland, going to Belfast and Giant's Causeway up there, going to this place called Newgrange. This is essentially an ancient kind of crypt that's older than the pyramids. That
Oh wow.
where it's built in such, not only is this underground crypt that it's almost hard to describe, this kind of stone crypt that you can see from the outside, but it's mostly underground. It is built in such a fashion, and again, mind you, this was built 5,000 years ago, something like that, that once a year on the winter solstice, the light lines up from the sun, so it totally illuminates the entire underground tomb, the entire underground cavern, but only once a year. You could still go in. Like I visited not during this time, and you still go in. You bring flashlights. It's beautiful. It's great. But there's like a huge lottery to try to get access to it during the solstice because of how surreal and interesting it is during that like one specific time of year. But again, so much to do and see in Ireland. And especially outside of Dublin, I would definitely take the 2 weeks and just traipse around.
Yeah. Wow. That's just really cool. I have nothing else to say about that. I did not know that was a thing, and now I definitely want to, one of these years.
One of the most random parts about it was the graffiti in this place from like 200 years ago. So like 19th century or 18th century graffiti.
Yeah.
Like people just, be like, I don't know, Thaddeus plus I don't know, Elizabeth or something. 1821 or some shit like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, just like, man, humans never change. We just love putting our names on things.
That is true. Oh yeah. You have time for 2 more questions, Scott?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right. Well, before we get into that, Forrest asks or says, signed up and no flight info who to contact. Feel free to email support@scottsheepflights.com. And they will, try to fix whatever issues you're running into. Because yes, if you're signed up, you should definitely be getting definitely some emails and definitely flight info. Adrian says, I'm 100% vaccinated. Do you know if I'll be able to travel to Portugal on June 19th?
First of all, congratulations. That's amazing. I would say the odds are very, very good. The EU and Portugal is one of the places that are really eager to reopen for tourism, considering how dependent the country is on tourism money to help support the economy, help support local businesses. EU in general is talking about opening up for vaccinated Americans in June. I think June 19th is quite likely. I've got flights in early June to Spain, which I'm cautiously optimistic as will be able to happen. I would be pretty surprised if you weren't able to take that trip to Portugal on June 19th. I mean, France has already said June 9th. It would be quite surprising to me if Portugal opened up after France.
Aaron actually, thanks for the help, Aaron. Aaron goes, double check your spam folder. Definitely something to do as well. And she also said, thanks, Scott. You helped us make a big decision. So
have an awesome trip. That sounds great. March is actually when I went there. And look, the weather's going to be a little bit variable. Bring your umbrella, bring your raincoat, but it also makes it, I don't know, you get the full like Ireland experience in a way you might not if you're there in like July.
Yeah. So before we get to the last question, which will be Samantha's question, I wanted to ask you a quick question as well. Yesterday, you did your annual Reddit AMA, which, I mean, always is amazing. And I know people love that. Have you noticed any huge differences? I mean, this is what, your 5th one, if not 6th, or maybe more at this point, because I know you did updates not annually. Yeah. What are some of the biggest things you've noticed from doing your earlier ones to where we are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that's different for me in doing a Reddit AMA in 2021 than it was even 3 years ago how many success stories there are. I mean, half the comments on there.
Oh yeah.
Scott, thank you. We got the, $202 round trip to Japan. We got $240 flights to Iceland, $280 flights to Italy. When you get a deal like that, you remember for the rest of your life. I mean, that $130 flight I got to Milan, that $169 flight I got to Japan, that, I'll go to my grave remembering those amazing deals. And so to play a part in helping other people get those, it's so heartwarming to see hundreds, thousands of those comments where I can live vicariously through the amazing deals that other people are getting. Considering I'm not able to travel quite as much as I used to when I was in my 20s, but it's so joyous to be able to see the other trips that people are able to take that we played some small part in helping tip them off to. And so though the increase in those success stories, I think, is the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. A lot of people didn't even have questions. They just wanted to say thank you. They just wanted to say like, hey, I just got this trip. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And I definitely an increase. And I thought,
and it's also partly me feeling a little bit terrible because they're always like, Scott, you got me this flight to Greece, to Hawaii, wherever. It's like,
yeah,
there are 40 people on the Scott's Cheap Flights team. They all deserve credit, not just me. Like, I thank you. I'm so grateful. Please, when you're thanking Scott, think of thanking the Scott's team, because you all deserve so much credit for all the amazing deals our members are able to get.
We're all Scott. I think we've internalized
like Spartacus.
Yeah. Nick also said, there are no open positions that I could reasonably apply for right now, but mark my words, I'll work for SCF one day. I love that.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's amazing. Okay, final question comes from Samantha. Samantha asks, February will be my first trip to Japan. Oh, that's amazing. And I will be there for 2 weeks. Would it be worth it to split that time between South Korea and Japan, or would that be cutting both countries too short?
You can definitely do 2 weeks in Japan. I mean, you could do 2 weeks in Tokyo alone. It's the biggest city in the world. I mean, if you go look at just a geographic map of Tokyo overlaid on England, it's like half of England. It's crazy how big Tokyo is, not just population wise, but literally size wise. So you definitely will not get bored if you spend those 2 weeks in Japan. They've got the Japan JR pass that you can buy as a visitor to be able to take trains all around. I like both countries a lot. Been in both a lot. If I were taking that, I would probably do 2 weeks in Japan and traipse around. But, look, one of the things that I think is really cool, if you haven't been somewhere, I love being able to sample places. Like, I love, I've been to South Korea, I've been to Japan. And part of the fun for me was to take a week in one place, take a week in another, and see which one kind of appeals to me personally as a traveler, because we all have our own different personal preferences. This is one of the things I talk about in chapter 11, where we think of travel as just an escape, just a vacation to relax. But in reality, the way that we tend to travel is it's actually like a muscle. It's a skill that you get better at with time. The first trip you take, you're not quite as good at matching where you go and what you do on your vacation with what actually is going to appeal to you personally. You tend to go to the sort of more traditional tourist favorites that appeal to the average tourist, but you're not the average tourist, you're you. And so one of the cool things about taking more vacations, about trying out new places, you get to see where is it that might not appeal to the average tourist, but where it really resonates with you. And so for me, for instance, one of my favorite places I've ever been to is Taiwan. Like Taiwan, Trinidad and Tobago, Lithuania. These are places that are not on these sort of like top tourist destinations, but because I was able to get cheap flights and visit these places and sample them, I was able to see like which ones really kind of appeal to me. Where am I excited to get back to by sort of taking shorter trips to more places, knowing that if there's a place I really love, like Japan, like Taiwan, like Trinidad and Tobago, I can always go back. They're not going anywhere. And believe you me, we are finding more cheap flights to those places. So if it were me, I mean, I'm kind of talking out both sides of my mouth here. I would split it. I would sample both, see which one kind of resonates more with you personally, and then knowing you can always go back at any time you want. So You can't go wrong, though. Great
Yeah.
questions, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for bearing with our technical difficulties. I saw somebody asking about business and first class. This is a little secret. We're starting to get some signups for that coming soon. We're not exactly sure when. Go to Scott. Actually, can we post that? scottscheapflights.com/elite-signup. Get notified when we launch this. It's coming sometime soon. We're still kind of working out the nuts and bolts in the background. But if you sign up at scottscheapflights.com/elite-signup, you can make sure you're notified when Elite launches and be able to get tipped off to those business and first class deals in addition to the economy deals.
I am posting it in the chat right now, so people have access, and it should be showing up in a second or two. There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
All right, everybody. Cool. Thank you so much for your great questions. This has been a lot of fun. If you haven't yet, please consider pre-ordering Take More Vacations. It comes out on Tuesday. If you order an ebook, it's going to be on your Kindle, on your ebook reader on Tuesday. If you ordered the paperback, which you should order from your local independent bookstore, it will hopefully get there next week. I am so excited for you all to read it. And if I'm being totally honest, I am nervous as hell. I am so nervous because if this thing flops, I'll be so embarrassed.
No.
It's really like this is my first book I've ever written, first time author, and it means so much to me for it to be a success for the publisher, for media, for elsewhere to say like, yeah, Scott Sheep Flights, like vacations, travel, this is all really exciting. But if it's like, oh, people don't really like this, not interested, it'll be, I'll feel terrible. And look, I talk about what it can do for me. Really, the point though is what it can do for you, how it can help you be able to take more vacations, take cheaper flights, better flights, more trips, happier trips, how it changes where you're able to visit, how much happy you are between trips because you know that there's no like post-vacation hangover because it's a year until your next trip. You get to take another trip again in like 3 or 4 months. It's awesome. Yeah. So much in there that's going to help you be a better, savvier cheap flight expert and be able to take 3 or 4 vacations for the price that you used to pay for one. So that's my pitch. Thank you all so much. Double thank you to everybody who's pre-ordered. Love you all. Talk to you all.